Title: The Whispering Woods. In the heart of the dense and foreboding Whispering Woods, surrounded by ancient trees that loomed ominously overhead, there lurked a creature of folklore and fear. Whispers among the villagers spoke of a cryptid, a being that roamed the shadows, neither fully of this world nor the next. They called it the Shadow Stalker, a name whispered with trepidation around crackling fires and hushed tones. On the outskirts of the village, where the trees grew gnarled and twisted, lived a young woman named Elara. She heard the tales of the Shadow Stalker with a mix of dread and fascination, her curiosity overriding her fear. One moonless night, driven by an insatiable urge to uncover the truth behind the whispers, she ventured deep into the heart of the Whispering Woods. As she moved deeper into the woods, the air grew thick with an oppressive silence, broken only by the occasional rustle of leaves that sent shivers down her spine. Moonlight filtered through the canopy above, casting eerie shapes on the forest floor. Elara's heart pounded in her chest as she pressed on, guided by an unknown force that seemed to pull her closer to the creature that haunted her dreams. Suddenly, a piercing howl shattered the stillness, causing Elara to freeze in her tracks. The sound was otherworldly, a mixture of agony and fury that seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere at once. Trembling, Elara knew she was on the creature's trail, drawn deeper into its lair with each passing moment. As she rounded a gnarled oak tree, a figure emerged from the shadows. The creature stood before her, its form engulfed in darkness, its eyes glowing with a malevolent light. The Shadow Stalker loomed over her, exuding a palpable sense of dread that threatened to consume her whole. But as Elara gazed into the creature's eyes, a realization dawned upon her. The Shadow Stalker was not a monster to be feared but a being lost and tormented by its own existence. In its gaze, she saw a reflection of her own loneliness and longing, a yearning for connection in a world that had forsaken it. With a trembling hand, Elara reached out to the creature, a gesture of compassion and understanding. And in that moment, the Shadow Stalker's form wavered, its darkness dissipating like a shroud. In its place stood a figure, ethereal and translucent, its eyes filled with a deep sorrow that tugged at Elara's heart. The being spoke in a voice that echoed through the trees, recounting a tale of betrayal and loss that had condemned it to wander the woods for eternity. Elara listened, her heart heavy with empathy for the creature that had been feared and reviled for so long. And as dawn broke over the Whispering Woods, the Shadow Stalker vanished into the mist, its restless spirit finally finding peace. From that day on, the villagers spoke not of the Shadow Stalker but of a guardian spirit that watched over the Whispering Woods, its presence a reminder of the thin veil between the living and the dead. And Elara, the girl who had dared to seek the truth, became known as the one who had bridged the gap between worlds, her courage and compassion forever etched into the folklore of the Whispering Woods.